Right, welcome back. Welcome back to the road trip. Welcome back, everybody. Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings, Mishpachah and friends. All right, peace and blessings to everything. Your homes, your children, your dwelling places, man. All that good stuff. That's right. We're back here in the book of Job. It's going to be chapter 29. All right. We're looking at easy page. Well, maybe not easy, but I'm saying length. Length is a page. So we're going to go ahead and get that. But just to kind of recap real quick, not trying to take too much time. I already know it's kind of a long video, but back in 28, how we kind of were listening about how precious wisdom and understanding is, you know. It was describing all of the precious gems and gold and the stones and, you know, Ophir and, you know, the onyx and the sapphires and all this beautiful stuff that kings would want. However, it kind of just lets you know that the wise man seeks after wisdom and understanding, because the wise man knows that wisdom is the most rare, precious resource that ever existed, right? Because with wisdom comes love, understanding, truth, right? Knowledge, fearlessness, all the things that a wise man would know to do, right? And so in turn, you know, that's the main goal here, you know, seeking wisdom. And so, yeah. And you got a few moments to get your Bible out. That was 28, though. We're in 29 now. So you got a few moments, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Chapter 29. Let's begin. Chapter 29, and it reads, Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, Oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when Yahweh preserved me, when his candle shineth upon my head, and when By his light I walked through darkness, as I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of Yahweh was upon my tabernacle, when the Almighty El Shaddai was yet with me, when my children were about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil. When I went out of the gate through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street, the young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged rose and stood up. The princes refrained talking and laid their hand on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. When the ear heard me, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw me, it gave witness to me, because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe, and a diadem. I was eyes to the blind, and feet I to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not I searched out. And I brake the jaws of the wicked, and plucked the spoil out of his teeth. Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. My root was spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch. My glory was flesh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. Unto me men gave ear, and waited and kept silence at my counsel. After my words they spake not again, and my speech dropped upon them. And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. If I laughed on them, they believed it not, and the light of my countenance they cast out not. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king, in the army, as one that cometh from mourners, that comforted the mourners. Salake. I'm going to read that one again, verse 25. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforted the mourners. There we go. There we go. All right. So that's the end of chapter 29. Yeah. And it's kind of a continuance of 28, just kind of going on. It's a little bit more in detail. Him remembering. It's really a testimony of thankfulness and gratitude. Really, it's gladness, rejoicing, gratefulness. Thanksgiving. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Thanksgiving. There you go. Thanksgiving. So, yeah, a testimony of thanksgiving. But we're gonna jump right into chapter 30 coming up next. That one's a page. They're all kind of compact here. So, I'm sure we're gonna get some pretty long reads coming up soon for those of y'all who like those. But those can be kind of brutal sometimes on me. But anyway, thanks. Shalom, everybody. Thanks for riding along. I'll see you real soon. Love you all. Yep.